This video response is going to go out to the Gillette razor company, and that's because you uploaded an ad that has been very controversial. And I'm going to cover it right here on my YouTube channel. Right now, I am doing a live stream. That's why I'm looking back and forth between my laptop and this Kodak Easy Share camera. So sometimes I'm going to be looking over here, sometimes I'm going to be looking over there. So bear with me on that. Now, the first thing I would like to say is this, okay? If you're one of my students that is facing eviction, starvation, or bullyism right at this very moment, I have to ask you a question. Why are you watching a Gillette razor commercial? Why are you watching television at all? You are in a dire situation. You are facing eviction, starvation, bullyism. You do not have time to be sitting here and wondering about this Gillette razor ad, or anything else for that matter. You need to get back to studying. So here's what I want you to do. If you're watching the live stream right now, I want you to stop the live stream and go back and start watching my educational videos and get yourself out of that dire situation before you have a chance to address this issue. And stop watching all these wonderful commercials. Stop watching television. You need to go and learn something so that you can get a job, so you can get out of your situation. And that's the first thing I'm going to say. However, for everybody else, the first thing I'd like to say is this, and I'd like to say this directly to Gillette. Listen up. The fastest way to lose customers is to try to lecture them instead of selling to them. The whole point of advertising is to sell to people, not lecture them. Why are you lecturing them? If you want to have an educational program, why don't you design an educational program and then have your Gillette razor ads run throughout the course of the educational program? Because this is basically the equivalent of saying, okay, we're going to grab a cancer patient who's been smoking for years and they're going to promote our cigarettes. Now, do you realize the stupidity of something like that? Oh, yes, I'm a cancer patient. I ended up with all this cancer because of smoking, but hey, I want you to buy these cigarettes. Really? That's silly and stupid. But we need to go through the whole thing because it's not just that. In advertising, that would be the craziest thing to do. But let's go through the whole ad, shall we? One step at a time. Okay, let's go through this. Alrighty. Now, I will admit that boys are never boys when they are pummeling each other. Okay? So I do agree that when guys are standing there watching two kids pummeling each other and saying boys will be boys, I'm sitting here going, no, that's bullyism and it needs to stop. And you're right. That kind of thing needs to come to an end. However, when boys call other boys names just to denigrate them, and if you don't know what the meaning of denigrate is, go look it up. It's real easy, okay? Now let's say this again. When boys call other boys names just to denigrate them, they are illustrating their lack of intelligence. That means they have nothing better to say than to denigrate the characteristics of another boy. That just shows their lack of intelligence. And if they persist in this lack of intelligence, you know what's going to happen to them? I'm going to tell you exactly what's going to happen to them. They're going to either be underemployed or completely unemployed later in life. So why are you worrying about what they say to you now? Shoot, 5 to 10 years later, they may be struggling to earn an income. Then you've got it. As long as they are not pummeling you, don't worry about it. And let me tell you something, if they're spreading rumors about you, this is the best way to test who your friends are and who your friends are not. If they're spreading false accusations about you, and these people that call themselves your friend believe the other guy instead of you, they were never your friend to begin with. Why are you hanging out with them at all? I would rather be by myself the rest of my life than to hang out with people like that. Really. So let it be water off a duck's back. Let me tell you something. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. If you allow those words to hurt you, guess what's going to happen? They win. Don't let them win. Ignore them. You know, come up with sarcasm. Sarcasm your way out of this. Just don't let it get to you. Really. The words are not the thing that, you need to worry about. Okay. So, anyway, let's go on here. Now, we're getting some responses here. Hang on. Oh, thank you. Survival on a Budget Made Easy says that I'm nailing this, so thank you very much. Anyway, like I said, I'm running a live stream right now, so bear with me. Okay, let's go on here. Now, does Gillette discuss any of the things that I just said in their commercial? Watch it and see. They really don't. Okay? Okay? If they are so afraid that boys will not get this kind of advice from their parents like they should, well, like I said, why don't they design an educational program and promote their razors in the educational program? That's how television used to work 50 years ago. See what I'm saying? Alright? Now, there is nothing wrong with guys being attracted to lovely ladies. There's nothing wrong with that at all. And to say that in the commercial is wrong. There's nothing wrong with that attraction. Now, however, if these boys are obtaining their social skills from television programs, there is a definite parenting problem. The parents are supposed to be monitoring everything these kids read, everything these kids see on television, listen to on the radio, whatever they watch on the internet. They should be the ones giving, they should say, look, we're the ones paying the bills. These people aren't paying your bills. These people don't care about you. We do. They should be taking the responsibility to teach their kids how to handle a situation where they are now attracted to a young lady. And saying that behavior is inappropriate. Okay? Now, if the corporations find that this video content is so offensive, why are they sponsoring it? I'm not kidding you. Shoot, if you were to look maybe like 10 or 20 years ago, or even a little further than that, you would see some of these same companies like Gillette were sponsoring programs with this kind of content in it. That's an oxymoron. Do you see what I mean? So, alright. So, if Gillette really felt the way they do, as they say in this commercial, why aren't they going to other companies and saying, don't sponsor that content? If the people making that content don't have sponsors, they're probably not going to make that content to begin with. It'll be too expensive. See what I mean? So why are you throwing this at us in a commercial if you feel that way? You shouldn't. Okay. Now, when a guy says, I think she is saying, he is showing his obvious lack of intelligence. He has nothing better to say, so now he has to silence his opposition, the person he's debating. That's ridiculous. That absolutely shows to me he has nothing better to say than that. If he was really as smart as he wants to portray himself to be, what he should say is, despite what she's saying, this is how I feel, and state his own case. And let the people decide for themselves which way they want to go. Let's say that they adopt her idea over his. Well, if it works out, that's great for the company. If it doesn't work out, he can do the I told you so dance. So either way, he's going to win. And if he really feels as strongly about his ideas as he says he does, then what he should do is form his own corporation. And then he can do things his way. I wouldn't even form a corporation. I'd just form a company where he can do all the work himself and do it his way. That'd be the way to do it. Not stand there and silence your opposition. That's a really bad thing to do. But anyway. Alright, and then Gillette says that things have changed. Really, not much has changed yet. Oh, no. After what people see in this video, I think a lot of things are going to change. But no, your video doesn't change anything. Really, it doesn't. Okay? If you believe that your commercial has changed anything, you are really wearing rose-colored glasses. That's what you're wearing. Okay. Now then. How many of you people know the definition of... try again. How many of you people know the definition of disingenuous? Okay, I'm going to look right here and see how many of you people know the definition of disingenuous. Let me see. Okay, well, anyway, let's go on here. This is the part where the guys are trying to entice the gals to smile. Almost like trying to force them to smile. Let me tell you something. Nothing would look worse on a videotape or on a video disc or whatever the heck it is than a disingenuous smile. Instead of saying, hey, come on, smile, what they should do is either do something nice for them or do something silly, either way, or do something nice and silly. Then they get a genuine smile, and bam, there would be no problem. See what I mean? But they don't need any guy to tell them that. They just need me to tell them that. Now that I've told them, the problem's solved. If you want a gal to genuinely smile, do something genuinely nice or stupid or both. Then you'll get a genuine smile and it'll look a lot better on your camera. Okay. Alright, now that I've said all that, let's go to the final scenario. And... oh, okay. Oh, boy, I went a little too far. Oh, okay. Really, I went a little too far. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm trying to scroll through my notes here. Bear with me. Alrighty. Now, what about the last scenario? This lady is walking down the street. She looks very, very busy. And this guy wants to talk to her. What's the problem with this situation? First of all, we are all way too busy in our lives. That's the part that has to change. First of all, as a tiny critique to women, some ladies are standing there on their smartphones all the time. They very big time lack observation skills. And you see this. And I have had people literally walk past looking for Lincoln, Heritage Coalition, wayside markers. I've watched them do it because they were on their smartphone and they had no idea that the sign was actually there. And I'm sitting here going, if you can't even observe that, what makes you think I would want to hang out with you and have you drive my car with me in the passenger seat? If you're going to be that unobservant, I don't want to be with you, especially while you're driving. I want you to have very keen observation skills. Okay? So that's my one critique of these ladies that spend so much time on their smartphone. Now, the next thing I'm going to say is this, and this affects all of us. Even me. Okay? We are no longer competing with other people in the marketplace. We are now competing with machines. This is a lesson that was taught by the legend of John Henry. Anybody know that legend? Let me know. Because I'd really like to know. If you really know that lesson, then you would understand what we're really competing with here. The problem is that a lot of these ladies are very busy because they are poor. Why are they poor? Because they don't have a very good education. Why don't they have a very good education? Well, you can blame some of these textbook authors. And I have actually covered books from Common Core clearly showing you guys that those particular textbook authors do not care whether you graduate or not. Understand that. I care, they don't. Get it? So the reason why they're having this problem, these particular people I'm talking about, these people that are poor and undereducated, is because they have not received a good education. How does that get fixed? It gets fixed right here. Now you can learn. Now you're being given the chance to learn a lot of good stuff. And if you learn this stuff, you will not be facing eviction, starvation, or bullyism anymore, and a lot of that busyness will disappear. You won't be near as busy. And if you're not near as busy, you'll be more observant, and if you're more observant, maybe the guy won't have to approach you, you'll go looking for him. You can say, hey, I noticed you over here. But here's my advice to guys. If you want a gal to notice you, don't just suddenly walk up to them. Do something nice for them. Do something silly. They'll notice, I promise you, they'll notice. And if they don't, they are very unobservant, and you really don't want to be around them, especially if they're driving. Okay, that's a real good indication you don't want them around when they're driving. Okay, do you now see the progression of that? I hope so. Okay, that's what I have to say about this particular commercial. So I want to thank you guys very much for watching this presentation. I'm sorry it was a little long. I'm sorry I was doing all this live streaming. But do you now see better ways to handle these kind of situations? I think I do. Alright. Well, I want to thank you very much for watching this particular presentation. By the way, this video response was also going to go out to David Wood, Michelle Guido, and Sinatra Says. And I will send a hyperlink to all three of them so they can see what I was talking about, because I told them I was going to do this, and I have. Alright. Thank you very much for watching this presentation. I will tell you more in a future video, so I'd like for you to stay tuned.